Hello everyone and welcome to Age of Wonders 4. As you can see, this is Dragon Dawn. I've got an early look at a press preview build thanks to Paradox. Not a sponsored video, but I'm very grateful to be able to show off some dragons early. So let's do just that. Of course, I've got the DLC enabled and you'll see that as we move through. Obviously, Age of Wonders 4 Dragon Dawn, that's what we're here for, represented by a little arrow like on this realm, for example. And we're also playing on the new patch, so there'll be a lot of changes actually in the game. So of course the fun really begins once we come into the faction creator here. Obviously there are default factions and wham bam, thank you ma'am. Check out these big boys. Sheesh. So there are 4 that come with the DLC, some lizards led by lizards, but of course ultimately the dragons are probably what we're here for. When it comes to picking our physical form though, it will be lizard folk because we're not actually dragon people necessarily. We're going to be lizard people led by dragons. The lizard folk do come with their own 2 new traits, a new body and mind trait, poisonous and cold-blooded. And you know what? We might just roll with those. They're new. Let's give them a go. As far as the traits go, I am lured in by this artifact Hoarders. Gain a tier 2 or 3 hero item after clearing a wonder or infestation, okay? And we gain extra mana based on the level of those items. And here you can see the higher the level, the more mana we get per turn. Actually, a fairly decent way to generate it, and we'll start with 2. It's new, it's funky. I think we'll give it a go. There are a few things that we could pair it with, like Fabled Hunters, for example. Makes a lot of sense. I could go with something universally good to sort of fit my barbarian traits. Of course, lots of good things up this way. But I think for this build, we're going to be dragon lizard people who really, really love loot. We're going to get Wonder Architects, which will give us 1 nearby ancient wonder at the start of the game for free, and cities will have extra production per annexed wonders. They also don't require population. Between these 2 things, I should be dragons that are, lizard people that are really desperate to get out there for ancient wonders, get the loot, and then use it to farm both production and mana. At least, that's the game plan. And here we have a Tome of Evolution. Look at that, they did it. They finally created a tome that we get 2 different affinities. Rapid Evolution enchantment, a unit enchantment at the start. We have a few different ways to summon or train in some new units, as well as a couple of spells, a healing buff, and a minor race transformation that gives us +3 hit points per unit rank. Okay. Oh my god, they did. We have a new type, Dragon Lord. Dragon D's nuts. So, by selecting this, we're going to get extra gold with Dragon Horde in the same way that we're getting extra mana, by the way, of course, from our gear. We'll also have Dragon Lords have a 30 gold unit upkeep and cannot equip most hero items. This feels like an anti-synergy. Not gonna lie. With other heroes to support it, and the fact that Dragon Horde gives us gold for items in the arsenal, I think it's still all good though. In fact, I think it's going to work out. Oh my god. Nice. So instead of choosing a weapon, we essentially choose an affinity, and the affinity for the dragon also allows it to deal the appropriate sort of extra damage. So we could make it a physical damage, we could take nature for more blight damage, order for spirit, so on and so forth. We'll also, of course, get an additional point towards our affinities. So it's kind of a nice trade-off. I'm going to take the nature dragon, so we'll sort of lean into the blight damage like our lizard people have. When it comes to customization, changing this color, wow, makes a huge difference to the appearance here. Oh man, it's fantastic. Okay, I'm gonna muck around with these for a little bit, probably off camera, so you don't have to sit here and watch me adjust every slider until I get it just right. But as you can see, there's a bit of fun to be had here. I'll see you momentarily, thanks to the magic of editing. Okay, so here's our race, these sort of beady-eyed little red lizard men. And then back here, we have Thalma, I think is what her name will be. She's a little bit oddly proportioned, as you can see. Mainly it's just the fact that her wings are very small. She's very self-conscious about it, so please don't mention it in the comments below. And I think she's ready to go. Oh, Thalma, you look even better on the map. This is fantastic. All right, so we're starting with the new tome. We are a people all about gathering and hoarding things. We make a lot of income passively, potentially, so long as we can get a hold of some ancient wonders and hoard some gear. And of course, we have Wonder Architects to help us get some wonders and farm them for a bit more production. Okay, so first things first, some early turn housekeeping. Obviously, we're going to get our scout to hoon around and grab that stuff. I see an army I see a hungry looking Thalma right there, just ready to gobble this up. Did my wonder really get put inside of an infestation? Are you kidding me? Okay, that's mildly unfortunate, but not the end of the world. Inside of our capital, we'll of course do what any good person would do and build a storehouse to start with, and I guess just train some ranged units. Okay, so we have a Slither Hatchling, which, as luck would have it, is going to deal some blight damage, which was, to be honest, kind of an accidental synergy here. Draconic Rage as well. When the unit's total hit points reach 60% or lower, it deals an extra 30% damage. All right, yes, please. Come right here. And I think we are going to have to go up and investigate what's going on up here, actually. Instead of going down and fighting, of course, this wonder should already be cleared for me. So that one, not such an issue. But we can clear out the small monster den before it becomes problematic too, I think. I think we should get attracting population into Helheim basically just straight away. So let's do that. There's actually a nice one here with some sheep. Get some food, start to grow this place. Now that we've connected that one, we can of course connect our automatically cleared one for free. Yes, unfortunately, it is inside of an infestation. So let's mosey over. Oh, look, I cannot wait to see Thalma in action. And this little porcupine here looks like a tasty snack. Alrighty, Thalma. Let's not muck around. One turn later. I think we really ought to jump into manual combat for the very first fight. So we could, oh, look at her stumpy little wings. And her stumpy little legs. She's fantastic. She is brilliant. I'm assuming she doesn't start with an awful lot. Lesser Dragon Breath. Okay, Demolisher, destroys fortified, 60% chance to poison. Very good. All right, you lot can run along and do your first turn for me, please. We'll wait till the enemy gets a little bit closer, and then we'll send Thalma in manually, I think. I can hear Thalma roaring in the background. Here is Song of the Reckless, Berserk, and Strengthened 3. I think naturally wow, okay. We use that on ourselves and just jump straight in there, Thalma. Jeez, don't hold back. All right. I'll put the rest of them on auto because actually their moves don't matter so much at this point, I don't think. We, of course, outnumber the enemy 5-2. And with Thalma now jumping in there, berserk, enraged, and rather mad, absolutely destroying that archer in front of her, I think this battle is a foregone conclusion. Thanks for your service, Thalma. Just an absolute rampage. Brilliant. That's also, of course, wham bam, thank you ma'am, cleared out a whole load of stuff. A Frostwyvern mount, a tier 3 mount, neat. Ring of Vampirism, grants lifesteal, fantastic. A tier 3 weapon too? Oh man, I wish I had arms and hands. And some food. Okay, this is all really great stuff. I doubt that we can equip much of it. Ah, you can wear rings. Okay. You've started with a Ring of Endurance. I think we'll give you lifesteal. That seems like a pretty powerful thing to chuck on early. Here we have also something in this slot, question mark? No. We're stuck with our Dragon Claw, and that's fine, because it's a tier 4 weapon, so all good. Our total income that we're getting at the moment, 19 gold and 19 mana. There's our 2 effects playing out, the Dragon Horde for the gear, and then the Artifact Horde. Okay, this is promising. This is promising. So we're just going to sit on top of the stuff. I certainly don't want to sell any of it. That feels like a bad idea. And slowly reap the rewards from it. I think we're probably not quite ready to go out and fight something else. It looks like there's a special material there though. Yes, Astral Dew. So that's worth exploring. But I think now probably we need to fall back to Helheim. Keep growing Helheim as much as we can. As a general rule of thumb, I'd try and go for farms everywhere, but we will probably need a forester and a quarry at some point. Could place it down on either of these two. Why not? Let's get some production there on that quarry, and then let's attract in. On this one, though, I don't really want to get the mine, so the forester is fine for me. Neat. And it looks like we've also met a city-state, a free city, right next door. God, they're close. Lucky they're red-looking lizard people like us, otherwise they'd be in trouble. They may still be in trouble. We've got a lot of money, and everything's pretty dang cheap here thanks to that little boost. Let's secure a few basic buildings. I don't think we need to train any units, because Thalma does kind of bring a lot of extra strength, at least in comparison to, say, a normal hero. So we'll just keep running around, grabbing more and more of these mounts, right? All of this little stuff. Here's another infestation that we should clear. Scouting out the map will be important for things like this and wonders, actually. So it might be a good idea next turn, which I can skip through to now, to grab one more scout. I don't think we necessarily need the military units. Usually I wouldn't buy scouts, but... Oh, hello. Imagine this lady just coming up to a literal dragon and talking to it. What are you doing? Get out of here. Jeez. Anyway, let's bring the dragon back to base, and like I say, grab another scout. It'll be really important for us to get out there and try and find some wonders. And we'll follow it up probably with a slither hatchling, but we've got plenty of time. The other thing to note is that we're playing on the new patch. We're playing on the new patch. Loads of things have changed. I'm going to have a video out about it. It's probably out already, though if you're watching this video right on release, it isn't quite yet. But they've changed a lot of things here. They've generally made this tree a little bit slower. They've shifted things around, like surge spellcasting here, for example. And they've made the costs overall a little bit more expensive. They tried to reduce us sort of dipping in to every single branch and incentivize us to focus in a little more. I'm not quite sure how it's going to play out for this strategy. I know that a lot of the stuff, particularly in this general tree, is more expensive. I think we'll be fine. Obviously, at the moment, we've unlocked Nout, so we'll just have to keep putting in points and passing through turns. We'll grab our first summoning unit as well. Everything's got Draconic Rage. Brilliant. That'll let us use a little bit of this mana that we're picking up. Actually picking up quite a bit. And then we'll also need to get Thalma out looking for a second city location, because one of the things that I often do is I get so caught up in building this like perfect first city that I forget to really get out there and find more. So another reason why the scout's important. Let's move on to things like this watchtower so we can get really good view around this early area of the map. I see a completely black banner. I don't think that's meant to be like that. Again, beta, early version, early look at the patch, which I'm very grateful for. Hello, beautiful. It's a silver, but with our dragon, once we get a couple of good units, we'll probably be able to clear that. And zooming out a bit, that looks like the right way to go. I certainly probably don't want to be settling right up in the corner. I think we'll send Thalma over that way too. You ready, Thal? On your bike? Or whatever you do. And our very first Empire Development tree unlock is finally here. Thankfully, because we did put quite a bit into nature, in fact, it's our most dominant one at the moment, thanks to making our dragon all natural and whatnot, this is a really useful one to pick up early. And now that they're more rare and more scarce, I think even better that we went down this path. Okay, so pass through 2 turns. Thalma's just about arrived. It looks like we'll... Okay, it's going to take 2 turns, but we'll be able to queue up a summoning unit, which is really great. And we've made a friend. The girl who we scared at the start. Okay, that's fine. We managed to pick up a little bit of good alignment from some random event, so maybe that's the reason why people are starting to buddy up with us. Oh dear. Okay. Okay, so the Wanderer, as it so happens, is actually right next to a free city that has immediately declared war with me. So I'm left with, I suppose, 2 options. I could come over here and settle like I planned. Or we could go for a really hard and fast early war. Not usually my playstyle, but seeing as they've started at war with us, and they're very close to a wonder, as in they're within workable distance for it. There's some sheep farm action going on there too. That's always great to see. I think we're going to shift tact a little bit. I'm going to focus on training units just for a little bit here rather than building buildings. We'll continue to grow this place up nice and strong though, starting to run out of farm opportunity, and this one is blocked, but we might try and clear that on the way, so I'll grab that, future-proof myself, and massively forward settle my ally. Oh my god. Man, if that was you, you'd be pissed. It's fine. Sorry, friend. And then I suppose we'll use our scout to do a little bit of sneaky tactical work, and then our new scout we shall send down to this bright pink research post, because my goodness are those borders bright, and that's likely to be the first player that we're probably running into here. Let's take a look-see at this new Wyvern fledgling out in the flesh. Okay, well, we can summon you now. Very nice. Get into the army. At 480, our strength is not great. I'd love to be able to level my hero up a little bit before we jumped into a goofy war, but maybe the goofy war is just the opportunity to do that. Let's scout first, see what our chances are of success here. Okay. I'm sort of like sitting on the edge of my seat as if I'm trying to sort of look over and see what's inside. Okay, around turn 10, next decision point, we've unlocked the first one, which of course, defeating an infestation grants us an extra unit. Would have been nice earlier, but we can still make do. Or military engineering if I want to settle outposts. They're both pretty tempting. I think because we're inclined to destroy, we should go that way. Equally, if we're going to war, we won't need that right now. Back over the side of the map with our scout. Let's just sort of, 2 tiles at a time. Easy does it. Nah, stuff it, go up there. There's actually a loot crate here that they haven't even taken. I'm wondering if they have any dudes at all. I think it's Operation Run Thalma in as fast as we possibly can, given what the scouts just revealed, which is essentially they've got nothing? Question mark? When it comes to these events, I generally don't like to sacrifice knowledge early on. Sacrificing knowledge for gold, not really my thing. If we can push them towards loyalty, it's only 2 turns though. Yeah, I'll allow that. If we can pick up a city faster, we may end up with more knowledge than we would have lost anyway, is kind of my theory. I don't know if that holds. I don't know. This is a tier 2 city now, which is great because as you can see, the people are pretty unhappy because I've expanded the domain far too quickly by buying those tiles. So let's build these lizard people a tavern because obviously what more would they ever want to do with their time? And let's strike a deal with Wayne. Wayne? Your capital's called Wayne? Also, terrible use of color. I think she's gone black on black, and that's why it looks so odd. I think there is actually a word there. It's just really difficult to read. All right, the city of Wayne to our south. Nice. Really nice. I hope she named it after her dad or something. Okay, skip the turn. We've got the 3 salamander boys, or 2 in a bit. Back over here, and that's why her banner looks so strange, of course. If we hover over it, you can just see it. It's actually a very stealthy tactic, isn't it? The opponent would never know how many units you had, unless they sat there hovering like me. If this is a quick recruit, it is. I'll finish it. That way, with 3 units, we can march them out. We should also clear off the Free Cities units from this. When Free Cities have their units on stuff like this, we can always just open it, and then, arrange a diplomatic audience? Hello. Not quite the outcome that I want. Attack or disengage and let them be. Usually there's an outcome to get rid of them. In this case, they're probably going to stay there until I ally up with them, because I don't really need to fight them to get rid of those. That's a bit much. Okay, well, you baited me. Well done. Let's get over to the front line, where, speaking of which, Thalma's just going to march straight in. Go, Thally. 4 turns. We can't really afford a lot because I've just spent all of my money. However, I don't really think we need it because there's nothing in there. Let's spend 60 bucks to deal some damage to them. Continue to cast spells. Continue to grow this place because soon it will be safe. These magic materials up here are occupied, which means it's not necessarily the best idea to build that right now because we won't get the crucial +10. So we're only really getting 5 mana out of it. I'd rather build somewhere like this mine that's at least going to give us a lot of production. And I would usually stay away from the actual mines themselves, but we do need a little bit of extra cash money because it's expensive being a dragon. So I'll go for that. Got to adapt, right? That's what I'm telling myself. All right, 4 turns to pass and Scragheim shall be mine, hopefully. Okay, so we're 1 turn away, as you can see. Nobody's turned up. Little green boy next door's decided to aggressively found an outpost. I'm really not sure how I feel about that. What I do feel good about is this nice new interface. Look, I can see that the enemy's forward settling me. It makes it really clear. If only I was better prepared. Man, that's a forward settle and a half. Did you really have to come right up next to my capital? I don't know if you did. And also another good news, we're boosting our allegiance with these guys. We're going to hoover them up with our largely unspent Imperium as things on the development tree prove to be more and more expensive. I will, however, take more food on my farms. Farms grant an extra 5 food. That's massive. We can absolutely spend the money on that. But outside of that, probably not too much. Just rest on my laurels, try and have, 200 or 300 or however much it is. And then we have Scragheim, where there is currently 435 strength worth of defenders, so it'll be close-ish. We have a minor race transformation unlocked as well. It's going to take me 4 turns to get that off, though, so I think instead I'll work on this. This will at least allow me 1 extra unit for the fight next turn. I decided not to bring the other 3 that I trained over in the capital. They're instead sort of meandering around out here looking for free loot. Unfortunately, they didn't really find any because everything was guarded a little bit too strongly for them. Here we have a Dragon Slayer quest. I'm guessing this is new, and I'm not sure I want to commit that against my own people. Oh, a challenge passed from mouth to mouth catches my attention. He proclaims himself a Dragon Slayer and me as his target. Oh, I completely misunderstood. Okay, so I can accept the quest. I can refuse to fight and lose some Imperium or ignore him. I absolutely accept this request. We're not standing for that. We're gonna take you, we're gonna take your hammer, farm gold and whatever else out of it, and teach you a lesson. Clemens the Bloody. Bloody idiot, am I right? And it's time for Scragheim to go bye-byes. What are we coming up against? A cat. Oh. Okay. The combat strength is relatively even. My units suck. I really want to get the upgrade on my dragon from leveling it up. Let's auto-resolve this. I want to get the upgrade that allows me to give experience to my troops, because I think that we're going to end up with armies, potentially even with little baby dragons come to Tome 3, that we're going to want to feed as much experience into as we can to level them up. We only lost 1 unit in the process of taking this city as well, which is absolutely fantastic. I don't quite have, unfortunately, the Imperium to take it this turn anymore, though. So for now, we'll just vassalize it. I think that'll do. And our ruler leveled up. Thank you. Ooh, we do have, though, just to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works, some unique unlocks. So the one that I was talking about earlier was down here, a support one. You know, I'm talking something like Inspiring Leader, but not the minus 20% upkeep, of course. Instead, extra experience. This one right here. However, can we really resist the tantalizing upgrade and the very special upgrades that Dragon Lord delivers? I don't know if I can. I don't really care so much about the vision range. Tail Swipe is basically unlocking a new attack for us. Or we could go health, plus 15 health. I think we're going to grab the Tail Swipe. Attacks 3 adjacent units, removes their defensive mode and retaliation attack, and it deals 35 damage. Yeah, baby. That's awesome. You just learned how to use your regrettably small, oh my god, that's small, tail for apparently to attack 3 units. Good luck with that one, hun. Vassalizing this is a bit of an L, because now I'm going to have to give them my Whispering Stone, work them up a little bit, probably. The good news is, though, is that this city over here, we're just about to be their vassal, so I will hopefully have a free stone very soon. I think Thalma should probably celebrate her great success by heading up this way, taking out this quest, and then we probably settle an outpost at least, maybe more, up by whatever this infestation is, because I think that infestation is going to be a really good thing for me to clear, and also tactically, that's probably the next spot that I'd like to settle on. A gold wonder, I might not quite be ready to take that yet, though. That is, yeah, that's probably a little bit out of our wheelhouse. We do have the opportunity to pick up a second tome, and unfortunately, there aren't any more new ones, of course, inside of Tier 1. So we're going to have to pick up an old faithful. Seeing as we're beasts, I kind of want to get a nature tome. I guess we'll go Tome of the Beasts. We won't necessarily lean into all of these things, though. It's more of a stopgap for me. One that I'm fairly happy with taking. There are a few other good options, of course, like always, but that one will do for me. I guess also we'll probably look to unlock either units or go for just the quickest thing we possibly can. We do have animals already that we can train, of course, our little slithery boys, so something like Animal Kinship, honestly, not a bad shout. I think because of the vassalization debacle, it's probably a good idea for me to buy an extra Whispering Stone. Obviously, more expensive than it used to be, but I think pretty worthwhile. Especially because Scragheim's so far away from us. I'd hate to, as you can see, start to lose on this vassalage after absolutely destroying them and letting them know who was boss. Or whatever we did. Okay, we'll enter a defensive pact with the people of Wayne's World. I think that's probably fine. But what I'm also going to do, just in case, is just quickly divert, I think, Thalma down this way and place down an outpost near that shrine. That way I don't necessarily ensure, but I have a pretty good chance of taking it for myself. The dragons really need a bathhouse. They are deeply unhappy. The lizards, I should say. So we'll get on board with that. Oh, we've met one of my favorite default characters in the game. I think this one's so brilliantly designed. Sanguine. Sanguine, you're great. But I have nothing to do with you right now, I'm sorry. So you need to go away. Because we have bigger fish to fry, Sanguine. Primarily I want to try and snag this wander. So this is probably far enough. Yes, it is. In fact, it's actually too far. Damn you, Dial. So we'll settle one of these two just up above. That will allow us to potentially claim it for free if we can clear it. I'm not sure we'll be able to clear it anytime soon. Let me quickly grab this military engineering as well. That's a clutch pick. The absolute nick of time. And looking at the diplomatic relations, people seem to broadly be okay with me. There were a couple of red arrows before, but for the most part, people are quite green. And here we have a thief. Hello. So we can get some money. Nature boon. I think we take this one, because we can get this wand of provocation. Can a dragon use a wand? I doubt it. But I think just having stuff is good for us. So that's what we're gonna do. You wanna, oh my god, you can use a wand. I was wrong. You know, I had a slight feeling that it was gonna be in one of these slots that was open, but then I thought, no, surely not. Yes, you can. Grants a 90% chance of inflicting taunted on the enemy target for 3 turns. Okay, so it's kind of mid, but it's still an item. We're making more income out of it. Slowly, slowly. The dragon is almost now counterbalancing the fact that it costs us 30 gold to have one. Here, casting cost, completely paid for, plus 3 hit points per unit rank. This is another way to kind of lean into what I was talking about earlier, that desire for experience, that desire to evolve and upgrade units. Units like beasts, hopefully like dragons. There's a little bit, obviously not our main dragon, there's a little bit of stuff going on in the capital here. I think we'll keep training units. Let's get one of these Furies. Just slowly, slowly train up an extra. And then we'll either get a second city, or we'll have to just recruit a hero at a higher cost, I suppose. Because I don't want to be mucking around for too long without an extra one, particularly as we're looking around to try and settle, but we also really need to be getting out doing quests or infestations too. So actually, the sooner I can get my hand on one of those bad boys, the better. Potentially something worth saving up a little bit of money for. These fairies are protecting a mana stash, so let's just quickly go over here and blight them down. Nice. Little bit of experience for Thalma and the boys. And she's pooped out a little outpost there. It's only going to take 1 turn thanks to our Imperium pickup. Not that it really matters how long it takes. And then I guess we'll... Don't want to use our ritual just yet. Settle, settle, settle. So we've got the watchtower, the walls, or found a city of red boys. I think then we're going to turn this straight into a city. We're going to end up somehow not vassalizing. Well, vassalizing but not destroying them, and building a city next door. So it's the worst of both worlds, everybody. And we should, because we're a good ally, question mark? No, it's because we're selfish. We should expand out this way and grab as many of these territories bordering her as possible, because she did the same thing to us. Speaking of which, actually, let's make sure that we do that on the capital as well, because I don't want her territory 1 tile away from mine. That is just simply unacceptable. Let's get animal kinship, another minor race transformation. Keep evolving and transforming ourselves to try and get some early quick bonuses if we can. And then Thalma's going to make her way up here to find this dragon slayer. Hopefully, oh yeah, no, I was going to say, hopefully they're not destroyed before we get there. Not a chance in hell. A rivalry has been declared on me by the beautiful High Priestess Sanguine. Sanguine, that's a shame. I wish you didn't do that. But fine. And I've just quickly swapped the spell over as well. We will go for the minor race transformations as soon as we can, but I want to make sure that Thalma's army has 6 people, just so we, if we can, to a certain extent, mitigate losses, because keeping these units, you know, upgrading their rank, their veterancy, etc., is probably better than a couple of quick wins, for example. This army is now full and waiting for a hero. Doesn't mean I can't keep training units, but I'm going to save my money just because I don't want the upkeep to get too out of control. It's already costing us 120 gold per turn. Not the end of the world, but enough to be a bit threatening. Speaking of a bit threatening, this army could go out without a hero and start to clear up some of this nonsense that's been, you know, hanging around here for days. Literally the whole game. Go and get rid of that, please. Ugh, I mean, it was a little rough. We're not going to do that anymore. But we will continue to train these units. They're fairly cheap. We've got, literally, we've got heaps. Let's get some wild speakers because they do our blight thing, and a war shaman too. Get some better troops. You guys can run back to base, and Thalma the dragon that could is going to take down the alleged dragon slayer, and then the world will be a much happier place. That is not a happy outcome. I'm going to retry that. I think you look at that tiny little tail. Oh my god, it's so chubby. Oh boy. Okay. Let's oh, how dare you? Let's whack them. Oh, the dragon's rage. Thalma was just like, nah, I'm taking you down. You're nothing. Let's use some temporary hit points on Thalma to get her up nice and strong, and then probably take out these fools that thought they could mess with a dragon and get away with it. I don't think so. There is a little bit of trouble around here on the flank. This is actually Clemens himself looking to go for the flank around Thalma. I think we'll have to intercept that. Damn, that guy actually does a shite load of damage. I can kind of see why we lost some of those weak units in this fight. That guy does like 50 damage, but now Thalma's gonna turn around and they're just gonna have some awful 1v1 with his poison resistance. Look, Thalma's screaming down at him. And luckily for her, she's got a little friend nearby. Bam. Okay, Thalma, now that we have control of you again, finally, use tail swipe. Oh, it was really super effective. Oh boy. Oh, Thalma. That little tail does work. Okay. Well, a slightly better outcome was achieved, and crucially, the Dragon Slayer is no more. What do I get? 94 Imperium, not really. Stability, eh. Honor him? No. Feed on the corpses. Thalma gains enough experience to level up. Yeah, baby. Dig in, Thalma. Delicious. Because her perks and her points are brilliant. Hero skills. Interesting set of skills here available, where basically each one is again aligning with the affinities. We've got things like extra hit points, watchful, resistance, shadow would give us soul drain. These are very powerful. Even just the plus 20 hit points is honestly not that bad. And I think in terms of keeping us alive, honestly, let's do it. You're just going to be the, oh, you're green-bellied. You're going to be the best. And then in terms of all of these, I mean, good God, where do we begin? We could lean in heavily on hit points. We've got those early ones which are less interesting. I do like the new attacks, and a ranged attack would be great. However, as governor of our capital, we could also get some stability and knowledge. We kind of need both of those. I think I'll balance it out. I'll get one upgrade for our cities, and then we should take one of these attacks. We've got Cone, 3 damage, Comet, all units in a 1-tile radius. Dragon's Breath does damage to units in a 5-long line. Let's get the line one. That's kind of fun, because we already have effectively a radius hit with our tail, so it's less important. And with that, everybody, I will end this episode here. If you're liking this, I will, of course, absolutely be uploading more. Dragon Dawn DLC so far seems really fun. I really like the changes that they've made, particularly around the uniqueness of the Dragon Lord. This, that, and the other, its weapons, how it plays through the game. Thanks so much for joining me. Let me know below if you'd like to see more, and I'll see you next time.